Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. If you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell for all our weekly videos. So this is a follow-on video from the GPS run we did when the Top Force was last out. So this is using the 4370 kV 2S brushless system. We finally got the GPS meter because I wanted to see how this was doing. And the idea of the last video was we were always running the Top Force with all the various motors we've been using with a 17 tooth pinion, and we got we used a 21 tooth pinion, which is the largest the standard Top Force setup can take. So in that video we ran it with a 17 tooth first, and it did around about 27 miles an hour. I think that's about 45 kilometers an hour. And then we took the motor out, put the 21 tooth pinion in and ran it again, and we were hitting about 31.5 miles an hour, 50, 52, 55 kilometers an hour. So that 17 to a 21 tooth pinion made a hell of a change. You know, almost, what was that, like 4.5 miles an hour? Doesn't sound a lot, but on a 1/10 car, that's quite a notable difference. So we wanted to take. So then that's when I started learning, and obviously this brushless setup is just getting to that speed instantly, but it's got nothing more to give. It runs out of gears basically. So I had a look at what we could do, and obviously Tamiya do the what's it called? They call it the T802 High Speed Gear Set, which is part number 47393. So it's 2 spur gears you get. Now, I should have done my research and figured out what the size of the standard Top Force spur gear is. I haven't done that. But in this set, you get what does it say? You get a 69 and a 66 tooth spur gear. So I would imagine the standard setup on the Top Force is probably in the 70s, high 70s as standard. That's a total guess. So then I kind of did my research to figure out what this actually does, because on the standard Top Force setup you've got your motor mount with the pinion holes in, and that goes from the minimum you can put in, the smallest is a 16 tooth pinion and the maximum is a 21 tooth pinion. So once you've used that up, like I have, then you've got really nowhere to go, so you have to start messing with gearing if you want better speed. So I've heard no bad words about these things, and I've also heard that you do get a hell of an increase in speed. So we will see. So the idea of this video is we'll open it up and we'll figure out how we fit it. It should be a very straightforward changeover. So when you put the smaller spur gears on, you then have to up your pinion sizes. Now, massive shout out to Scott in Australia, my Instagram buddy, who's a sub to this channel as well. He's messed around with this, and he's a bit of a wealth of information with this stuff. So he sent me the charts over through Instagram, telling me the different ratios to set up. And I asked, you know what I'm like, I'm all or nothing. I asked what's kind of the maximum I can get out of this gear set. Now he said fit the 66 tooth spur gear and use a 25 tooth pinion. And that'll give me my kind of maximum speed. But he also said, and this is very important, I'm running a cheap brushless combo. And we know that this 540 motor, the actual rotor size is a 380 size. So whether this will have the watts to push that gearing all the way, he says it probably won't, but he did say it'll still make a big difference, which is good enough for me. I don't want to go to the expense of having to buy a much better quality brush motor just for what I'm doing. So we got the speed set in, and then I had to look at my pinions that I had. Now, obviously I had the 21 tooth pinion, so I went to the local hobby store. Unfortunately they didn't have the 24 and 25 tooth pinion, so the largest I could pick up on the AVs were a 22 and a 23. So we're going to be setting this up on a 66 tooth but spur with a 23 tooth pinion. It gives you, on the gear set, when you get into it, it gives you the gear ratios of what you get, mixing and matching different pinions to spurs. So that's the quickest I'm going to be able to make it, and I just want to see if it makes a noticeable change. Just on that, and we'll get into that, obviously this standard motor mount has the from 16 to 21 on this chart, it gives you a full chart, so it tells you which holes to reuse. Obviously not going by the numbers this time. So on the chart, I need to look for 66 tooth spur gear with a 23 tooth pinion, and then cross-reference that, and that'll tell me which holes to use. So that's set up, I'm guessing, might say, right, use holes, both 18 holes. So there's a little bit of messing around to get your meshing correct, but you know, it's not that big a job. So I think the first job we'll do, we'll get the plastics and the wheels off, we'll get it on the stand so we can work at it, and then we'll whiz the gear cover off, and then we'll go from there. Right, two things I have to put right very quickly. I gave a shout out to Scott. I do apologise. It's Sammy. I don't know what I did there. I do apologise, buddy. I'll put a link into Sammy's YouTube channel in the description. Please go check it out. It's got a great channel. The second mistake I made was, I've realised, because I've only got the 23 tooth pinion, that means I'm unable to use a 66 tooth spur. These are the different ratios it gives you with the relevant pinion and spur gear. So the biggest pinion we've got, as I say, is 23, which takes us to this ratio here, which is 7.13.1, and that, to do that, we have to use a 69 tooth spur gear. It also tells us in the manual, in this instructions, that the standard spur gear is a 74. So we're dropping down 5 teeth on the spur and we're going up 2 teeth on the pinion. So let's see how that runs. So obviously it's this unit here we've got to take out. Now this is really not a big job at all. It's as simple as that. I've also been told that this is a better option than running this alloy gear as well. It comes as standard. I'm not too sure why that is. I think these wear quite quickly. So the next thing, I'm just going to give a little bit of a clean around here first. We'll take this centre spindle out and we'll get it fitted with the bearings in the new spur and drop the new spur in. We'll re-grease it, and then we'll put the top back on, and then we'll whiz the motor out and we'll figure out what holes to use to get that pinion in. So very easy job, just take the cap off and then the spindle pulls out, remove the other bearing from the old cog, put it in, and then just snap these 2 cogs back on. And then to drop it back in, obviously I've not greased this yet, that just goes in like that, meshes correctly, and then we just pop that back in there, in position, and then that's it. It really is as simple as that. So I'll say I'll drop some grease in this now, and then we'll drop the lid back on. So we've dropped the motor out, the gear case is back on, and that feels nice and smooth. As I say, I put new grease in there. So the next stage, as I say, this is 21 tooth pinion. So in this little chart here, it tells you the 23 tin, excuse me, let me get this right. So this is 69 tooth, 66 tooth, but obviously it's only relevant to the pinion you're using, so the 23 tooth pinion will only go on the 69 tooth spur gear. So we match that up and it tells us it goes in hole 18. Now, next issue I'm running an anodised motor mount which doesn't have the numbers there. So it's got its own little sheet to tell you which numbers are. So we're looking in position 18. So let's whiz this pinion off, whiz this off. I've got to get this right because I've got to have the brushless motors, when the motor's in, I've got to have the brushless motors facing the right way. I don't want them facing down or anything. So a little bit of concentration needed just to make sure I get this round, because if you get it 180 degrees wrong, then your wires are going to be at the opposite end. So let's get that done. Quick tip, guys, always use the pinion adapter spacing bracket that it comes with the kit, so you guarantee you've got your meshing lined up with your spur gear correctly. Very important. Right, that's a little bit of messing around, just because of the fact how the brushless motor wires come out on one side and you want them in the right direction. So I chopped and changed it a little bit. Obviously you've got to make sure you're using the correct holes, but let's see if I can do this one-handed. Probably going to struggle doing it, but there we go. So when you find the motor located, you can, I'm definitely not going to do this one-handed. So what I'm doing is I'm just holding the left-hand adapter and spinning, so I can feel that the mesh is there and it's freeing. Obviously the motor's wobbling around, but you know that it's roughly right. So I'll whiz this motor back out. We'll tighten the 2 motor screws in here, and then we'll get it mounted properly in the car, connect the wires back up, and then we'll just put some power into it just to see make sure there's no nasty noises. Right guys, that's it all in. I've connected a battery. Obviously it's very difficult to see if you made an improvement just by holding the diff and seeing how the tyres blown and what have you, but the meshing's correct, that's the main thing. So I'll just show you quickly. I'll just hold it as well. So, first impressions, there's definitely an improvement in sort of top speed, but again, it's a stupid test to do. So I'm quite happy with that. I mean, obviously this video's probably been, I don't know, 5, 8, 10 minutes long, but the actual change it takes is minutes. So if we do get a good miles per hour improvement from it, then it's well worth doing. So unfortunately, it's absolutely bucketing down outside. Sod's law, as usual. So I had planned to get the GPS run done on the back of this video, but I don't know when I'm going to get a dry day, and I want to do this in the same conditions, under the same conditions as I do most of them, and it's a fair test on the GPS. So as it stands, with the old setup, we had 31 miles an hour out of it. So any improvement on that with this new setup is going to be awesome. What do I expect? I don't know, it's difficult. I think if we got 5 miles an hour out of it extra, that'd be awesome. That'd take us up to like 35, 36 miles an hour, but we will see. So I'll end this video here. If you've got any questions about how it all goes together, or if I've missed anything, drop a link or drop a message in the comment section and I'll come straight back to you. So as always guys, thanks very much for watching, it's much appreciated. Please, 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 if you haven't subscribed already, please do. We're knocking 3 to 4 videos out every week without fail. And most of all guys, happy RCing.